Okay. All right, cool. And can you do this? Can you do like give me 3 like delayed?
Just like really.
Yeah. Great. Yeah. Great. Cool. Hold on. All right. Cool. Welcome to Matt Pinto Live. This is Matt Pinto's new podcast, where we will be discussing passion, discernment, and perhaps music. And today I think I might have to be like closer to the whole thing. Today we have tonight rather, we have a wonderful guest. This is a former figure skater, musician, educator, podcaster, somebody who's garnered a great deal of my respect professionally and personally over the years. We have Blaise Dahl. Blaise Dahl, thank you for.
Thank you. I think ditto to that. I mean, like, I can't copy and paste the former figure skater to you, but definitely professional respect.
Oh, word. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't get into the figure skating thing. I hope the mic's okay. I mean, I can just hold on. Let me see. I didn't go super hard with that much figure skating yet, but we'll see.
There's always time.
Yeah.
Like, you have that midlife crisis, and I think a lot of people buy cars, but you could buy figure skates.
Mm-hmm.
And your body would be in prime shape for it.
Right.
Fine.
Yeah. I definitely have some Russian connects. I know they do that there.
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do it a little bit too good.
Yeah.
You know, there's multiple wars going on with Russia. So that's, I think, all we have to say.
Yeah. Okay, before we go any further, what's your Instagram handle? Also, if you like any other thing like adjacent to that, and do you have any like shows coming up?
Okay, so all of my handles, except for TikTok, which I'll explain in a bit, but I'm not really using TikTok yet, are at BLAISEDAHL. That's my name, Blaise Dahl. And on TikTok, it's the Blaise Dahl, because there's a boy in Michigan with the same name as me, and he got it on TikTok first. Like, I beat him everywhere else, but not on TikTok. So
word.
Yeah. Shows, I am playing with my other band Mevius September 25th at Heaven Can Wait. And then Dollhouse shows to be announced.
What day of the week is the 25th?
It's a Monday. It's like you gotta be committed to go out to a show on a Monday. It's a lot.
Yeah, awesome.
Which I think you play Mondays.
So
regularly now?
We'll get into that.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, I'd be remiss, I guess, if I didn't say September 29th, bitter end, 10 o'clock, come through. It's gonna be, it'll be like reasonably good. It'll be good. It'll be good. It's gonna be good.
So you're not into like the manifesting, like you got to put it out and say it'll be great, like it'll be reasonably good. It's your actual expectations.
Yeah. Like
okay.
I'll privately, and then in some other sort of like social media way, I'll like psych myself up.
Yeah.
But a big part of this whole thing so far is just being like very like, I'm not doing a character, not doing a bit. I'm not like forcing anything. And that can definitely be super boring, but it's what it is, you know. It's very CM Punk in a way, actually.
He's a cool guy.
Yeah, definitely. Shout out
Straight
CM
edge,
Punk.
cool guy.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
There's we're just like trying this thing out. There's been 3 of them. I don't know if you've.
I skimmed. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
They were cool.
Yeah. Is there any way that, are there any Post-its available? Because there's something I gotta ask you, but I don't want to. I have to write it down.
Post-its?
I don't want to. Yeah. Is there a Post-it thing going on?
We have Post-its.
Okay, that's fine.
Out of all of the things that I've bought.
Okay.
I haven't bought Post-its yet.
That's fine.
The most recent thing that I bought was chalk, because we have a little chalkboard over there.
That's tight.
So, yeah, that's like writing utensil-wise, but I don't think we have Post-its.
Roger that.
Yeah.
So, okay, so one thing I did have in mind. Thank you so much for
Thank
doing
you.
this. Oh,
Thank
for
you.
sure, for sure. Yo, thanks a lot.
That's not a Post-it.
Awesome.
Is that a Gotham pan warranty? Another thing I bought recently. Gotham pans. Gotham steel.
This is for all intents and purposes a Post-it.
Okay.
In the most utilitarian sense.
True.
So one thing I did think was, so it's like, okay, for, there's 57 people who could be watching this.
That's
by
perfect.
the numbers that I have. Yeah. So and I'm excited to have you on, because I'm super psyched whenever just different kind of parts of my like social thing or like interact, And I think that there's some people who when they see this, they're gonna be like super psyched about, there's some people who are gonna be like, who's Blaise Dahl?
Yeah.
So I think it'd be cool to do, I don't know, some kind of recap of how, maybe not name the place.
No.
Maybe not name the place, but just kind of, I don't know, just go over some history. We worked together at a music school for children.
Yeah.
Where we...
well, sometimes adults, but there's never enough interest.
I did a gig a couple weeks ago with everyone in that.
No,
thing.
shit.
Yeah. I forgot to tell. Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. It was really funny. They needed a bass player, and anyway.
That's wild.
Yeah. So they were all there. But yeah, so we started to teach some of these classes together.
Yes.
Which was essentially like bands where we coached the kids and stuff, and I think that it'd be cool to just recap that whole experience. I think that just another way to contextualize it would just be that at a certain point, I think that we were the dream team of sorts.
I was just going to say, I think we did start a cult.
Word.
And I think that that's still prevalent. You mentioned there are going to be some people who are really excited to see this. And they're definitely on social media. And they stayed on our social media.
For sure. And I think that in many ways, I don't know about like naming names in that regard, but we helped out a lot of kids.
Yes.
And I think that we like changed, like legitimately not doing a bit or anything like that. We like changed some lives of some kids in some way. So maybe just, I don't know, some sort of like revamping of like, just sort of like your perspective of just like when you started in that capacity. I know you worked there before.
Yeah.
But just sort of like, your recounting of that time and place,
Well, yeah, that was definitely one of the rewarding moments here. And you have a pen? I can borrow really quick.
Also, the guitar is just like a safety blanket thing for me. I don't know how much it's just sometimes it just makes me feel a little less nervous.
I get it.
Yeah.
I totally get it. Yeah, I was with that company for many years and in many different facets of it. So that was definitely one of the more rewarding aspects of it, to see people grow not only musically but socially too, and find people that had a shared interest. That kids always make friends at school, but there's something different about making your friends at a music school, especially a music school that's not teaching Beethoven or anything just super classical. That has its merits. That's great. But to see kids talking about Interpol in the middle of the day is cool. And discovering albums and sharing them with each other, I think that's an interesting thing. Because I didn't really see a lot of that at my own high school in the same capacity that is done at unnamed place, if that makes sense. Like, obviously there's the artsy music kids at your high school, but they're probably listening to Weezer and not necessarily Porcupine Tree, if that makes sense.
Yeah. That was a lot of fun, and definitely a lot of responsibility to
Oh yeah, a lot of yelling.
Yeah, a lot of yelling.
A lot of yelling. A lot of stop playing Minecraft on the piano.
Yeah.
A lot of parents who... No, I'll ask that.
Word.
A lot of parents.
A lot of dealing with parents.
A lot of dealing with parents.
Yeah, a lot of dealing with parents. A lot of, especially on the phone and stuff.
Yeah.
I have some stories, dude, from that place that I still haven't told you. I don't know if you know about some of them. And yeah, I think legally I still I almost like shouldn't necessarily. But is there? I don't know. You have any like funny or cool stories from working at music school, or from us like teaching these classes together? Like if you can like leave out some names that you might want to share, or, you know.
I think okay. So this is a timely story, just based on current events. You know, things in the news, and we did a Radiohead OK Computer show, and there was
so hold on
actually I think you had a different show that year, didn't you?
Yes. we were teaching different stuff. So break down for people who like, what does that mean that you were doing a Radiohead show? Like what does that mean that you were doing
we specifically, sometimes you would teach like a genre of music. Sometimes you would teach a band, and sometimes you would teach an album, and all these shows would have themes. And at the end of the semester, season, whatever you want to call it, they would put on a show in a real live rock club, which is amazing. And that particular season was Radiohead OK Computer. So learning all of the ins and outs of what is one of the greatest records of all time. And I think, unfortunately, that one went a little underappreciated by some of, not everyone, but some of the students. And sometimes rehearsals, also based on kids' schedules in the show, and the fact that we didn't have as many kids, would kind of like, the rehearsal would take a turn. And I can remember one day just being, all of the songs were sang with the lyrics of All Star by Smash Mouth. Sure. That's something that we should kind of just take a moment of silence for Steve Harwell. You know?
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
How's it going, man?
Word. I guess our moment of
silence is over for Steve Harwell. It's fine.
Yeah.
There's a Shrek VHS over there.
Yeah.
No, it's okay.
If you want to, you might have to. It's okay if you pull the mic towards you, or probably.
That's all good.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
He's loud enough.
Cool. Yeah. Also, like in post, in post I can bump it up. The kids definitely had a hard time adjusting to the Radiohead.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wrote a recommendation letter for college for one of those kids, and in it I wrote about
how he knew every single part and is the best.
Well, there's a lot that I and I got a text message from the parent on the way here. But I wrote about the day that in the keyboard class that you were leading. I wrote in his college letter recommendation about the day that he pulled up, sort of at my behest, pulled up the transcript for the impeachment trial.
Yes.
And sang.
Oh, I forgot about that. That was the best.
Yeah, yes. Sang to the melody of Hush by Deep Purple.
Yes.
All of the impeachment trial dialogue. Yeah, that was pretty sick.
That was good.
That
was good. Creativity.
You going Arthur Ashe?
Yo, do you know how much so MJF Joe, okay, Kingston Claudio, you ever,
Phoenix,
which is like, I'm not psyched. I guess, but it's like, but you know the finish.
All right,
especially so close to like
I think people don't remember what wrestling was like before AEW came here.
Okay.
And I think people are very quick to take advantage of things that they didn't have 5 minutes ago. And I don't think people appreciate how big it is that AEW is here. So if we don't go to the shows, it's going to go away. And then we'll be left with nothing again.
Yeah.
You know? No competition for the other company.
Yeah.
And the other company can then just sit back and not give us the wrestling that they think that they're giving us right now. You know.
Right.
It'll go away if people don't appreciate it now.
You're right. I would be more pumped and feel less like if it was Penta Mox.
Okay.
I think
a Penta Mox death match would be awesome.
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the current state of AEW right now?
Do you like QT Marshall?
As a wrestler, as a performer?
Yeah.
I think he's very entertaining with like the bumps that he takes. I think he sells well.
Yeah.
I want to say maybe he's missing a presence.
Yeah, definitely. There's a little bit something. There's something. Did you see him in Penta at AAA?
I heard it was great. I heard it was fantastic.
It is pretty cool. Yeah. And he kind of it's interesting, like different context. He kind of comes off like a star.
It's weird. It's interesting.
Like,
some people just they don't have necessarily the same character as in other promotions as they do in AEW.
Sure.
Or they're not given that same main event style spotlight in different ways. Like sometimes main event stars are, and sometimes it's about the position of the card.
Right.
And sometimes it's about the time given or what they're involved in or who they're involved with. But I agree, sometimes when you put a QT Marshall in Mexico, it's something they've never seen before, so it's kind of a clean slate.
Yeah.
And when you put him against somebody like Penta, that's a huge deal.
I don't like Penta.
No,
what?
like
Why
Phoenix?
not?
Well, because he beat me in Fight Forever.
Oh, yeah.
So a lot of the times I get really upset with some wrestlers that I see while we're watching because they beat me in Fight Forever.
Sure.
So
Valid.
And
Yeah.
it has nothing to do with that other than I don't play video games very well.
Yeah.
Although I did have a very good...
You had a 5-7-star match.
I had... It was a 7-star match. So there's a career mode that you can take where you're a monster, and I named my person... You should pull up a picture of her. She's phenomenal. Let's see if I can find one. I named her Lethal Lovelace, and she had a big ponytail and a sparkly bra and a scar on her face. And at the end of the career run, she basically decided that she was going to take over AEW, and she beat Cody with a chair on live TV. And then she just went off after all of the elite. And it got to the point where I knew I wasn't going to be able to beat the Young Bucks because it was going to be me versus the Young Bucks. And I was so bad at like 2-on-1 matches or anything that was more than one person. And so I used my like legal cheat code in there where it was you're invincible. And I paid 30,000 coins or whatever it was.
Okay.
And I spent 53 minutes at my computer. And I eventually did beat them. And I took over the company, and that was it.
Wow.
And that was the end of Lethal Lovelace's career mode.
Wow. That's some heavy stuff right there.
It was heavy.
I heard all of that.
Yeah, we're hit. So I know that the producers told me that you do want to eat dinner. We're creeping up to 20 minutes right now. I figure we'll try to go for at least like 30, maybe 40ish.
Whatever, yeah.
Or, part of that also is like the last one I did like 120 for the first time.
Wow.
And it was it took like a day to upload it to YouTube.
Yeah, it's annoying.
So
it's really fucking annoying.
Type 45, dude.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Just short of a Broadway. So obviously, we're just going for it, we're just on a whim,
Yeah.
Okay. So this is I'm not sure, I hope this is like comfortable, this is, but yeah, basically I think it'd be cool to, it's like, what are you doing? And
am I doing?
Yeah, like, what are you doing? What are you trying to do? So, because for me, like, I want to like have a career as like a performer.
Sure. Yeah.
I still see kind of adjacent to a little bit of what we were talking before. I'm like pulling back for it because I'm still working out, being open. in a way, but it's like yeah, like I still see a place where like there's a pocket for like the thing I do.
Right.
You know. So like, are you trying to be a performer? Are you
for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I mean, like, I
Yes,
think
let's
also
Yeah.
in anywhere it's fucking hard. It's so hard.
Yeah.
But it's like you gotta maximize your time and find what works for you, which is why sometimes you take the job like we did, where you have a little bit more of like a stability so that you can carve out a schedule during the day to be like, here's when I write, here's when I record, here's when I do this.
I'm gonna interrupt you. I want you to, so don't forget where you're at, but just like tell like 57 people, just like
so
a little
many.
bit about, okay, like what's your band?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
What's your like a little bit of
So,
history of your
okay.
band and stuff, and like what you do in the band, and like and then kind of like take it off from where you just left off.
For sure. So my band, Dollhouse, DAHLHAUS, and I started writing songs for that project probably like right after I graduated high school. So it's been a while, and I have been performing in New York and around this area ever since then with a rotating cast of musicians, which I'm sure you understand very well, because in New York, anything can happen. Someone can move the next day. So I've been anywhere from kind of like a 5-piece to what I am right now, which is a 2-piece between me and my very good friend Daniel. I also play in his band Mevius.
Shout out Daniel.
Yeah. And so we kind of like formed a musical partnership almost as soon as we met, because we vibed really well. We were really good friends and we were into very similar music. So
Did you go to high school with Daniel?
No,
Okay.
I met Daniel on the internet.
Cool. Yeah.
I actually, when I was not playing with Daniel and I didn't really have a ton of options for musicians, and like I said, I started this like right out of high school. I was lying to get into clubs and using older friends' fake IDs. Actually, they were real IDs. They were fake for me, but like they were expired and I looked nothing like them, and sometimes it would work and other times they would just be like, all right, there's this 50-ish-year-old woman who's with her too, like that's obviously her mom, it's fine. So I was playing with kids who were like 14 years old, even though I wasn't 14 at the time, and I needed a band for a show, and I just was like googling shoegaze bands in New York and listening to things on Bandcamp, which I still do now, which I think is like important. And that's how I found Daniel, and he came to the show, and then we just became friends, and then eventually we started playing together. So I write all the material. I sing. Obviously, that's kind of like my main thing. And I play guitar, I play bass, I play synth, I program drums, but I don't play drums. And I write everything on my own, kind of play it all together. Sometimes I'll be like, Daniel, play this guitar part, bring your own kind of flair to it. And then when we play, because we're a 2-piece right now, it is me playing guitar, him playing guitar, background vocals on the tracks, and like everything else on the tracks, just because we don't have anything else. And I think in Brooklyn you see a lot of that at Brooklyn clubs specifically, maybe not so much at like the bitter end, because it has that kind of like, you know, there's a singer-songwriter and sometimes it's just acoustic. Like I feel like it's a little bit of a different vibe, but there are a lot of people that we kind of run into now, and I feel still, because I write a lot of rock music, you know, kind of like these post-punk kind of bass lines, and there are a lot of live drums, even though sometimes I have loops and it feels weird to kind of just play them with a computer, but it's like what you got to do. And now I see a lot of people doing that, and sometimes they just hit a button and then they sing.
For sure.
So
yeah. Cool. That's awesome. And your next show is the 25th.
So that's
Monday night.
That's with Daniel's band Mevius, which we're a 3-piece in that, but he does the same thing where it's like lots of tracks. I play guitar, he plays guitar for some songs, and then we have a live drummer, Steph. She's great.
Cool. Yeah, very cool. Very cool. Do you yeah, that's awesome. I feel bad that I haven't seen y'all. I haven't seen, have you been to a Samsara show yet?
No, I haven't.
Yo, shout out Samsara.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta see Samsara.
I'm glad they're still together. That makes me really happy.
Yo, yeah.
I
mean, look at the like.
I know.
Yeah,
I know. That makes me really happy.
Yeah. You know. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm gonna be in Boston like in the beginning of December, and I'm trying to. I want to have Charlie on the podcast.
That's good.
Yeah. I want to plan it out so that the week before that, I have on my high school chorus teacher,
That's good.
and then the next episode is gonna be Charlie.
That's a good.
Which I think that'll be a cool thing.
Chronological, yeah.
I'm talking about a student. I'm not talking about Charlie. I don't know. You know who I meant by Charlie, but whatever.
No, I don't think I did.
Yeah. All right. Cool. That's really interesting. Like playing live shows as a duo. Like with the and the two.
We have a lot of like visuals now too. Where over COVID, I'm sure like you went crazy. Like we all went crazy, and I couldn't do or play anything. So what I started doing was songs that I already had recorded. I started making lyric videos for them because, I mean, like, we also know, obviously, based on all this shit on here, I love movies. So I think of music, especially when I write, like, very cinematically. It's always kind of like I want to create the atmosphere, and I almost think of it as, like, a soundtrack every single time. So I put together footage kind of in a Lana Del Rey, Wise Blood sort of way. And now we do that when we perform, because there's so many venues that have projectors, and it just changes the show so much. And I think that's also like something that's, okay, there's no drummer, but like, here, watch a movie for 45 minutes. So
sure,
there's that too.
Yeah. Do you have your pedal board memorized? Like what you got?
Oh, like all the way through? Okay, so yeah. I need things fixed right now.
And none of that's here right now.
No, because my studio space in Bushwick, which I actually would have had you come to, but it's a mess because it is Bushwick and we share it with like 6 other bands. Yeah, so there's nowhere to...
What's the name? Where's your place?
Danbro.
How do you say it?
Danbro. It's like right by, you know where $3 bill is?
I'm thinking about Moffett Street. You know where Moffett Street is? At all?
No.
Okay. All right. No. Have you heard of like Unit J?
Meserole.
Okay.
It's Meserole.
Gotcha.
Okay. What was I saying before that?
So I'm
pedalboard. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So I have my overdrive is Dark Driving from Froze Roches, which they do really cool stuff. I got it because when I was playing my Jazz Master. And when we went into the studio to do the record...
Do you have any of your guitars here?
I have nothing here.
Okay.
It's literally all in the studio. Because, like, if I played over here, everybody would be super mad at me. Although there is a child down the block that plays the clarinet. And I hear her a lot.
Nice.
But, so that's my
Shout
overdrive.
Out girl with a clarinet.
Yeah, I don't know her name because she won't say hi to me. I, like, smiled at her a couple times downstairs. But, stranger danger. It's fine.
Yeah.
But I bought it because, obviously, the Jazz Master isn't going to give me, like, this kind of, like, low-end, gritty tone. So when we went into the studio, we actually did a lot of stuff with a baritone guitar that we layered a lot of things on.
Jealous.
Yeah, it was awesome, and I'll never have that experience again until I go into a studio. So I kind of wanted to be able to fill that out a little bit. So that's my overdrive. Usually I have some sort of other fun distortion behind that. I have the supersonic fuzz gun from Death by Audio.
Okay.
Which that's been out of my board for a while.
Sure.
I have the Daughters empty glass pedal. Do you know Daughters at all?
No.
Well, they're canceled now, unfortunately. But
with a pedal company?
No. They're a band, but they did a pedal collaboration with Fuzz Roches.
Okay.
Off of their last album, and it's really, really freaking cool.
It's an overdrive?
No, it's just a distortion.
Okay.
So it's made after the first song off of that album, the kind of like the tones and everything, and this kind of very clangy distortion back and forth. So I've been using that a lot for texture.
Cool.
Behind that, what do I have behind that?
Just before I hope you, because I've gotten mildly nerdy about the pedal board thing. Yeah. But
love that.
Part of it has been the whole like the gain stacking thing.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
It is.
Cool. Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
We're all It's science, man.
Yeah.
That's my science. Nothing
Shout
but
out
respect for
science.
my science.
Yeah.
Then I need my C machine from Earthquaker fixed. That's usually my chorus. It
Okay.
does a lot of weird, warbly Sonic Youth stuff, which is why, because it can be more of a traditional chorus pedal, because obviously you need that when you write like these kind of dreamy pop shoegaze songs. But it also does the weird noise too, which obviously I think those are the two sides of Dollhouse, are like these really lush, beautiful kind of almost Cocteau Twins kind of instrumentals, and then there's like more jarring. We actually recently got compared to Swerve Driver at one of our last shows, so I was pretty happy with that.
Gonna interrupt you again real quick.
Yeah.
Tell people like three Dollhouse tunes to check out now.
Okay.
If they want, and then let's pick it back up. Yeah.
I think the favorite is Helium. I think that's like most people come after me after shows and say that was their favorite. Dreamscape kind of carries that, but also at the end is a little bit more akin to the rock stuff that we do. And then one of our next singles, First Mistake, which will be dropping soon, which I'm doing the video for right now, is also a favorite. Is more of our like driving rock. I think also kind of traditional song structure too. My C machine. Right now, I'm just working with my MXR bass chorus actually because I need to fix my C machine. Behind that, I like Strymon stuff. You have any Strymon stuff?
I almost got their whole like pedal thing.
the
Yeah.
best.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I went with the Fender Engine Room for now. Like
That's
it works
nice.
like similar. It's like
Yeah.
half the price.
Yeah, well, that's the other thing too. I bought all of mine used.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah. I hear amazing stuff about their reverb.
Yes.
The Flint reverb. Apparently.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I have like a tremolo reverb, and then I also have the tape delay, which is beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then I've taken it kind of out of commission just because I found that I wasn't, even though it's insane, it gives you so many different options. The Cathedral reverb.
That's Strymon also.
No, that's Electro-Harmonics.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like flurb stuff, reverse, church kind of stuff, like just a lot of different types of reverb. But I wasn't using a lot of the times, like especially when I mostly play rhythm, I was like, all right, Strymon reverb, here we go. And then I would hit that, and I would use the Cathedral kind of more sparingly when I was writing to kind of like extra tracks back behind it. So I took that out of my board, but I do love it a lot. And yeah, that's kind of the main sitch.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah.
And you need a tuner because Daniel didn't have a tuner for the longest time. You'd like borrow my tuner on stage and it'd be like, come on, dude,
Yeah.
get a tuner.
Shout out tuners.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's yeah. I love talking about like pedal stuff. So my gain sitch is like right now it's like a two tube screamers back to back. It's like the TS9, and it's like have you heard about this thing? I was trying to figure it out with my friend Aaron yesterday. Have you heard of this thing about like, okay, so you're gain stacking as one does, and you're
Shout out stacking.
shout out gain stacking.
Yeah.
And the first one you have, you turn the drive all the way down, have the tone at like about 12 o'clock, maybe a little bit to the left,
Okay.
and then max out the volume and use that as your clean signal actually,
Okay.
or just have that as your bass, and it's supposed to sort of just like push whatever amp you're using, whatever.
Sure.
And then the following two gain pedals that you have to really color it out. There might be some like nerds checking
that,
out
though.
who
Yeah.
I might be explaining it wrong or whatever, but I'm trying to like figure it out myself.
I don't think there's any wrong way to do anything.
Sure.
I'm
Yeah.
really, and so if we're gonna talk about like nerds too, like theory too, I can remember when I think I was like 17. I went to the Grammys like they had a music camp, and I went to the first one in New York. And I went on an ASCAP scholarship. It was so freaking cool. It was at Converse Rubber Track Studios, which doesn't exist anymore. But I remember like going as a songwriting major and collabing with people and like writing harmonies and them being like, well, that doesn't work. I remember being like, it doesn't fucking matter. It's art. And one of the things that like really resonated with me, have you seen the movie where John Cusack plays Brian Wilson? I think it's called Love and Mercy.
I don't think so.
Okay, so Paul Dano plays young Brian Wilson, and he's perfect.
Okay.
And there's a scene where he's recording pet sounds with the orchestra.
Okay.
And they're like, Brian, this doesn't make any sense. This is in a different key. And then the violins are doing this. And he's like, but it sounds good in my head. And that really resonated with me. And I always think about that when it comes to like anything. Like, obviously, yes, you should learn how to use compression and all these things when you're recording. But I think that you can push the envelope, and there's like no one right way to do something. Yeah. And that's why certain movements happened. And that's why certain genres pollinated with each other and made something else.
Yeah. This is something that's very interesting to me because so I sort of like identify in a way as like a huge Nirvana fan who like stumbled ass backwards like into a music school, you know? And it's like, and there were big parts, especially relative to a lot of peers I have, big parts of my life where like I didn't have formal training, quote unquote, I didn't, you know, whatever. And music theory is something that I've sort of fallen in love with and like and really
you know, nail it. Like, I don't mean to like shit on music theory because you are the master at it and it is very, very useful.
There's some people watching this who will disagree with me being the master of music theory, but
who?
But
let's get him.
Gabe, I think Gabe might disagree with that.
Okay.
No, but no. So I'm very, and then going back and seeing how like a lot of the Nirvana still hits me the way it hit me like back in the day, you know.
Right.
And so going back and sort of like doing a little bit of being able to see how things are working and stuff. I'm very interested in reconciling these things.
The two things together. Exactly.
As far as like understanding that it's a, you know, the seesaw sort of thing of how of like how powerful music theory can be, how it can be a drain on the creativity,
right,
you know, to an extent, and sort of like, and then the other end of it too, you know, sort of like how we need the most visceral part of like what we're trying to get out unencumbered by like this,
right,
you know,
but
at the same time like how sometimes it helps bring it helps bring this out, you know,
of course,
like, and it's an interesting dialogue.
It is. I mean, like, there are some people that are like, this is dumb in either direction. And I'm like, sure. It's not black or white. It's a gray area. And there's always room to experiment.
Yeah.
Like, that's that.
Sick stuff. So, how do you pronounce Mevis? Is this how you pronounce the other band? Daniel's band? Mevius.
Like
Mevius.
The Japanese cigarette.
Mevius.
Yeah, he's Japanese. He's got songs in Japanese too, some of them.
Cool.
Which we got rid of the cassettes. I was gonna make a plug for merch at our show because we had this. Actually, Daniel and I were also in another band called Dialogue from a Silent Film, which showed up one year. The AV Club does like this roundup of most interesting band names or most creative band names, and it showed up there once. But there's this song that was kind of reimagined for Mevius that we played back in Dialogue, and there was a cassette tape release for it at, was it the Grand Victory? I think it was the Grand Victory, which doesn't exist anymore, of course, because nothing exists anymore. Shout out COVID, New York, de Blasio, Rent, Eric Adams, whatever. And we had one cassette, just one, and we finally sold it, I think, the last show that we played at Purgatory.
That's actually really cool. That's really cool. Cool. So yeah, we got all that going on, and stuff, you know. Do you have like a manager or an agent or something like that?
Nah, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to, but it's all take a cut and I don't need to explain it to you. You know how little money we make at this stage. It's, unless there's something that's really going to benefit you in some way. I think, I'm sure you can attest to this too. There's a lot of people out there that are like, I'm on this label, and it's literally their friend in their basement. And I'm not trying to shit on anybody's dreams, because if you're actually trying to start a label, and I recognize how much that requires so much work and so much capital and everything, but there's a lot of people that I feel just say things to say things, and then like you fuck yourself, and it's not really anything. So no, I do it all myself. I write all those booking emails at whatever time I can get, and
Yeah.
I do all of that.
That's badass.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to like figure out some of that myself. There's at least a couple other things I want to kind of square, so you don't have to, but if you feel like maybe you want to perform a song, feel free, but check this, like, just check this thing out.
Check it out.
So this is an Epiphone Riviera.
Beautiful.
If you want the strap, let me know.
No, that's all right.
So I got this in Rochester. Did I tell you about the gig I did in Rochester for the first, like, after I got fired from that place?
No.
Word.
Also, getting fired is cool.
Yeah.
CM Punk got fired.
CM Punk did get fired. Yeah.
This was
So
nice.
So this is called an Epiphone Riviera, and it's obviously it's sort of like a 335-ish style thing,
Yeah.
And I got this in Rochester because I was doing this on stage musical gig up there.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, which fell into my lap right after they let me go from that school.
Good riddance.
Yeah. And anyway, I didn't want to I was playing my Strat and then my acoustic when I was doing that, and it was winter and like way up north.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to bring it between my Strat between the theater and where they were put me up so much. So I got this thing. The bridge, I think, is really cool. It's like I don't even know what you call it, but it's I've never seen anything. Yeah, bridge. Yeah. It's
you
like
could call it the Matthews Bridge.
Yeah.
You like Limp Bizkit?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And then the pickups. So these pickups, I thought I knew everything about. There's single coils, humbuckers, P90s. Okay, these are called mini humbuckers. You ever heard of mini humbuckers before? Yo, check out mini humbuckers. They're like, so mini humbuckers are like between a P90 and a humbucker.
Sick.
Yeah. And they're like they're
you didn't put this stuff in, you
really
bought
cool.
it like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this was like, I don't know, like 600, 700, maybe,
not
like
bad.
Yeah.
Not bad.
I love this thing. The tones you get are really cool.
Wait, what's on your board? I didn't ask.
My board is like also, you want to hear with distortion?
Dude.
Yeah.
Give me some distortion.
Okay. And then this Black Star amp I absolutely love.
Let me take off my diamond. That would probably make things easier.
Sure.
Damn, I didn't mean to brag.
Yeah.
Ooh. Is that a Black Star? What do you have over there?
Yeah. This thing is I love this. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. There's like a little delay thing here.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, that's cool. So my board is like, I didn't really finish. So volume pedal, but I don't really want it in there anymore.
Okay. Fine.
Volume pedal, tuner. I love the Boss one. I got the
Boss tuner.
Yeah.
It's the standard.
Yeah.
It's the only Boss pedal I own.
Okay. Oh, you don't have any other Boss pedals?
No.
Why not?
I used to. I mean, I used to have the overdrive, I think I got a snob about it.
Yeah.
My favorite Robert Smith quote is that, like, he didn't buy Boss pedals because he thought they were good. Like, he just bought them because he liked the colors and they were pretty.
Mm-hmm.
Which I can relate. I can remember, actually, I think where my, what's the word that I'm looking for? Hesitation to Boss started with, at unnamed music school, I worked at another location, and one of my bosses there, I remember when I was first building my pedal board, like I just got the job, and I was trying to build my pedal board, and I was asking him for advice, and I just started like looking at what some of my favorite bands back in the day used. And especially, like, there weren't all of those boutique pedal companies that you have now. Like, now everybody and their mother on Instagram is like, I build pedals, which is great. But that wasn't it. And so I was looking at, what did Slow Dive have on their pedal board? What did, I think even Kurt Cobain used a bunch of Boss pedals. And
he definitely used the DS1.
Yeah.
I know.
And so I was like, yeah, so should I, like, get these Boss pedals? And this guy said to me, he's like, why do you want to go with Boss? Like, there's so many. And I went, oh, okay. And I just kind of assumed. Like, what's that website? It literally tells you, like, everybody's pedal board.
It's like the IMDb for, like, pedal.
Yeah.
It's like geared.
Something like that. But I remember looking at that.
Yeah. Yeah. Boss pedals are fun. They're fun. They're not exactly. I mean, they're fun, and some of them still, like the delay pedal, like the DD3 or the DD7. Yeah, like that's at the end of my board.
I remember you brought that in one day.
Yeah.
What'd you bring that in for? Somebody was using it.
It could have been the Zoom pedal masterclass that we did during COVID.
Yes.
But I don't know. No, I brought it in to help with something that the kids were trying to do. Yeah. Or to just give them an insight into, like, hey, like, you can.
That was one thing that was, like, never allowed. Remember, we would be like, what if we introduce this? And they're like, what if you had 2 switches for this Fender app? Like, you get clean channel, you get distortion channel, that's it. Don't complicate things.
Yeah. That's something been struggling a lot with recently. I say a lot, and I'm trying to take that out. Trying to take that out of the podcast. Shit.
I did that all through the first couple of episodes of Top Cult, my horror movie podcast, and I would watch back and I would edit, and it would be so just cringe. You know when you like feel it?
Yeah.
And I think just watching myself do it over and over again. I mean, hello, you're at your 4th episode. It's when it starts to happen where you're like looking at it and then it starts changing in real time.
Word.
It's just that's that.
It'll all get easier over time. You just keep doing this and keep doing this, you're gonna get better at it.
Yeah. That's sort of what I've, a little bit of what I feel like I've been picking up on.
It's like I'll see myself being like, and it's something that you're also only paying attention to. Like, I promise you, other people aren't reading it.
Right.
Unless it's a fucking constant where it's interrupting your conversation, where people are looking for your point and you're not getting there.
Sure.
That's the only way that they're paying attention to that. Otherwise, you're in your head and you're going to be your worst critic.
Interesting. Yeah. So I got a TS9 doing that like little like low drive thing, and then that's going into a 35th anniversary TS808.
Wow.
Yeah. It's pretty swagged out. And then and that I sort of color up how I want it, And then that goes into a Friedman. Have you heard about there's an MXR Eddie Van Halen 5150 pedal that's the same thing as the amp. It's supposed to be like the amp in a pedal, essentially. So I have like a Friedman version of that.
Okay.
And it's really cool because like it's sort of you can unscrew it, and inside of the pedal in the back there's a tiny little knob which controls overall how much distortion
Oh, sick.
isn't. Yeah. So left untouched, it's like heavy. It's like it's like heavy, you know. But I just went in there and I forgot that I did this, but I turned that all the way down, so it's a little bit closer to being like an overdrive, like, you know. Yeah.
Love that.
And then
I can remember like for what's that guy who does all the pedal demos?
JHS.
Okay, yeah.
JHS.
All right, so
Yeah.
shout out to him because he's great.
Yeah.
But do you remember there was like a time where like everybody and their mother in the comments would be like, whenever it was a distortion pedal, I love this. It makes me sound exactly like Eddie Van Halen. I swear to God, this was like a thing in the year 2016. Like everything said that, and I'd be like, this has nothing to do with Eddie Van Halen.
That's really funny.
It was weird.
That's funny. And then I've been swapping it out. It was going into like I had a reverb thing going on. My friend just lent me the Bonsai, the JHS Bonsai. Do you know that?
No, I don't.
It's pretty cool. They're all the JHS pedals are super colorful, kind of like Boss in a way, and sort
love
of, you know,
that.
it's cool graphic. Yeah.
Look at all these stupid fucking white trash Christmas lights that I have. We love colors.
Let's go. Shout out. White
Shout
Trash
out.
Christmas
Yeah.
lights. And then, I mean, after that, I forgot. So because of like the type of stuff that I play, I recently got the Electro Harmonics Qtron.
Yes.
Oh, it's so
Yeah.
fun. It's so much fun. It might sound a little goofy, like in some
but that's
context, but like
fine.
I love it. It's so fun.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who makes the Rainbow Machine? Do you know that one?
No.
I can't remember if that's an Earthquake or one, but it's like it's the same thing. Like
Uh-huh.
it was kind of like, what would you call it?
The Qtron is like an envelope filter, which is like in a lot of funk music. It almost sounds like a wah
Yeah.
in a way, or like an auto wah.
Yeah, that's not. There's a word that I'm looking for that's like not in my head right now, but it's not. Maybe one day it'll come to me.
Yeah,
Or maybe when you leave.
Sure.
I love that one.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I don't have a wah.
I mean, you probably like don't necessarily.
Well, it's funny because when I was like, I had this honeycomb amp before I had like an actual amp that I would record like all of my songs through. So it sounded like very wah filtery. And when I was writing my first demos on GarageBand, like I put everything into a telephone filter because I was really inspired for. I still kind of do that, but I was
as like a
really
plugin.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
And I didn't have.
Which one do you have?
Well, I didn't have a mic at the time. It was
Yeah.
literally just the GarageBand stock telephone plugin from whatever year that was, 2010, 2011, something like that.
Cool.
And I would just kind of make everything sound like that because I didn't have a good mic, and it was like, it's intentional. And I am very also influenced by Sparkle Horse, but like the way that he would do things would be like, I'm gonna sing through this toilet paper holder that's completely empty, and then like through this microphone with this distortion on top of it. So like the cool way to do it. So like a lot of that stuff in the beginning, I have a song called Silhouettes and Alibis that I kind of like, the video for it's like a film noir, and I was very influenced by Lynch, and I like a lot of like tremolo and wah was on that, but I never have a wah pedal live.
Yeah. So like, and then now that I think of it, one way you can use a wah that's not as how people think of using it is you can just kind of use it as like a super treble boost. Like you click it on and then just leave it rocked all the way forward.
Yeah.
Or you find a sweet spot where it hits,
which
like a
is
certain,
what I would do. Yeah.
So that might be worth actually, like more worth your while. Yeah, you see, you know what? Like kind of like we were talking about with the theory and before, you know, we have all these sort of constructs about like, you know, like, oh well, if you play this kind of music, oh well, you don't want a wah or an auto,
right.
You know, or if you play this, but it's like, yeah, just trying stuff out is sort of what's up. I think that's the vibe right now. It's just about, you know, trying stuff out. What's up? You know, just trying stuff out. Don't worry if the shoegaze kids don't use a wah pedal. Use a wah pedal, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then there's some other stuff on my board. It ends with like a DD7, but after the game, I don't really use, you know, too much of that. So, DD7's kind of fun. What were some of the... I feel like there was one other thing I wanted to get to before we kind of wrap it up. Don't exactly remember what it was, but is there anything you want to play? You don't have to, even if you're not.
I mean,
you can just sort of let people.
my
feel
like
free
day
to-
job right now is like I teach fitness.
That's incredible.
It's really cool because the fitness place that I work at, Salad Core, is very it feels like the performance version of fitness. I walk around with the Britney Spears microphone on, and the lights are bright blue, and it's completely dark other than those blue lights, and then we like blast music. So I've been teaching like 15 classes a week, and we talk nonstop for 50 minutes, and that's where my voice is at right now.
Roger that.
But-
yep.
Yeah,
Cool.
I would like to not be that way.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, if I'm still doing this thing in a couple months or whatever, I'm trying to not repeat any guests for as long as I can.
Oh,
but
no, of
keep it in
course.
mind if you want to come on and play one of your tunes.
For sure, I would love to.
Yeah, for sure. As far as the state of AEW, which is something that we were kind of brushed over before, but
Yeah.
didn't exactly go into. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think that Tony definitely, I guess it's going to be a pivotal thing for, he just made a big move in firing Punk, and that sort of, I guess it's just sort of kind of a flag in the sand as far as, okay, like I am leading this company,
I'm not taking any more shit.
I am the one who's in charge.
I'm the one who knocks.
Straight Tony Khan. Sweet boy Tony Khan.
Yeah. I think that so you think there is the intent to not I'm curious about just sort of, is the intent to not compete with the other company, and what does that look like sort of in the next like 5 years? Like is it to grow but not grow too much? And then also, I mean, how big a deal does the All In at Wembley Stadium, what are the implications of that, like long term?
Long term, the company. Well,
Yeah.
Tony wants to do it again next year, which is huge.
I thought like he announced that it was already going to be done.
It's happening
yeah.
next year again. Yeah, and I think
It's happening again.
Here's something that Tony really needs to focus on, and it's to provide an unbelievable card when you're asking for the trust of the wrestling fans. Like Wembley sold out without any matches announced at all, right? And Forbidden Door will do the exact same thing.
I love Forbidden Door. I love Forbidden Door.
AEW and what we're getting right now is a fucking godsend, and people don't appreciate it. It's a blessing that we've never had before, where a billionaire doesn't care about the growth of his company more than putting on good wrestling. Good wrestling doesn't sell. Here, like, look at...
Wait, let me real quick. Just remember where you're at. We'll go. Okay. How much are the tickets at Grand Slam?
Starting at $20, but like everybody, if you're a wrestling fan, if you want to know what wrestling is like in the year 2023, and in my opinion, and this is controversial, I think wrestling's better now than it's ever been, ever, no matter what.
Yeah.
Like if you can have rose-colored glasses and look at the Attitude Era all you want, and you'll get your Stone Colds, you'll get your McFoleys, you'll get your Triple H's and your Kane and everything, and that's all fucking grand. And I don't know if I can curse. Can I curse?
Yeah. Especially, I think that yeah. I think especially it's like I've read a little bit. It's like after you're at past the 5-minute mark, it's even like less bad for massaging the algorithm or whatever.
Okay, good, beautiful. All right, well,
So dumb.
Good, 'cause if
I
I'm
know,
talking
yeah,
about
yeah.
wrestling,
So
I'm
dumb,
gonna be
dude.
cursing.
Yeah.
It
No, go off.
Seriously, okay, you have all that, and that's all gold, and that's all grand, but you also had 2 hours of bad undercard matches, and the talent was nowhere near the level of the talent that it is now. We're in an unbelievable period for professional wrestling right now.
Yeah.
And the unfortunate reality to everything is that the biggest wrestling promotion right now, at most, draws 2,000,005, right? At most, 2,500,000 views, correct? For a SmackDown, the biggest show in all of wrestling is 2.5 tops, 2.7 maybe, but wrestling used to be like 16, 30,000 people, 30
like
million
525,600 people.
Exactly. They're like
Shout out
30
to
million people,
AIDS.
16 million people watching professional wrestling. So if the biggest show that's lasted for 40 fucking years is drawing 2.4 million, like
It's pretty cool.
almost 1,800,000 is not a bad number for a promotion that's been around for 4 years.
Yeah, that's the big thing about that people definitely. I'm really interested in what you're saying about the not appreciating,
Nobody's watching it.
and what you said before about how like it if we don't support, it's gonna go away. I'm really interested in that.
2 million to 1
and
million is arguing over marbles.
yeah,
Nobody watches this anymore.
It's
Right.
a lot of
At
marbles.
all.
yeah, and
let's say each marble's $1 million. That's it. Like
I think that this is okay. I'm pretty sure that it's still recording.
okay.
I think that
Yeah, it's still going.
it's still
Yeah.
I
Oh,
think
you
that
should
it's
bring
still-
yourself back into it.
Yeah. I just want to do that as like an emergency sort of thing. But
It's
yeah.
just
Also,
that wrestling is way on a lower scale now as far as what everybody's paying attention to.
yeah. I
It's
think
niche.
it's but yeah. Also, what you just said though about how. Yeah, people the not being grateful and stuff. Yeah, all of that people are so they don't realize. Yeah, for 4 years, all of the benchmarks are like unfathomable. Like for
Minoru Suzuki
it's
versus
a
Bryan Danielson on YouTube.
yeah.
You got Nick fucking Gage versus Chris Jericho in a death match with light tubes on TNT
Yeah.
on a Wednesday night.
Yeah.
A prime slot.
Yeah.
We don't know. We don't understand like how grateful we should be for this company.
Sure.
And for Tony. Honestly.
Yeah.
That's my reality. You know.
Yeah, for sure.
That's my truth.
For sure. I'll tell you. So I play like a lot of guitar and stuff.
Yeah.
And dude, I couldn't help. And then like in being honest, like I was so jealous of I don't know if I don't remember what event it was, but there's this phenom who became very popular on Instagram. I think he goes by the name I forgot what he goes by. Something. I don't want to butcher his name or whatever, but it was the kid who was played for Jade Cargill when she came out because he did the guitar on her whole entrance theme.
That's awesome.
I was so jealous of
Great
that
theme.
kid when he got to play all and like
Provides great atmosphere. Like it's
Yeah.
it's a really powerful thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
and part of me is like, oh, I want
How
to.
old's the kid?
Oh, he's like a little young, like either like your guy's age or like a little bit younger, something like that. Yeah, and of course, and part of me is like, I want to play Shinsuke. It's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
You should just be like one of those Instagram cover guys and like do it and tag them. Some
I've-
sort of
I've
Turn
viral
back up the
video.
violin again.
I know.
I don't
Yo,
think
you
do
should.
that.
You should.
Not for Shinsuke?
Okay, you
not,
can.
not in this apartment.
I mean, like you have somebody with a clarinet to duel, so
It's true.
Clarinet violin duel.
yeah,
I'll put that fucking kid in the dirt.
yeah.
Let's go. I have had an idea for doing like Taker's theme as like it's
Oh,
like it's like
nice.
actually let me see this
Yeah,
real quick.
go.
I think let's see how much of it I can get off the. Let's see. Let's see. Hold on. Just a little bit more.
Yeah, you should get all up in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Come on.
Nice.
And then there's a whole second of come on. It's so damn it.
You're there, brother.
How
I'm
many
almost there.
like
It's such a long like that whole melody is
Yeah.
such a beautifully composed like long. It's like
Yeah.
it's 24 bars. And there's that whole second section to it. Yeah.
how many
Yeah.
people do you think Chris Jericho goes through in his band? Like how many times do you think
His friends. He's really a guy that sticks with everybody that's
Ugh.
been with him.
I feel like someone should trip and fall and then like he can join the band.
Well, listen, I'm not. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That would be a lot easier to.
Right, exactly. A classic. Like you could walk through Wembley singing and playing at the same time, not be winded like Chris Jericho was. That was. I don't like Chris
He had a
Jericho.
whole match with Will Ospreay after a performance of walking through Wembley. Credit where credit's due. You know, sometimes he puts on bangers still.
Yeah. What do you think's Jericho's best match since did he beat Omega or did he beat Hangman for the title? He beat Hangman, right?
Hangman, yeah.
What do you think is his best match since then?
His match with Bandito was really good.
Okay.
That was excellent. His match with Ospreay was great. He had a great match with Roddy.
Okay. Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah, I haven't been watching.
Yeah, that was on Dynamite.
Really?
Yeah, and they just had like a throughout the arena brawl, and Roddy just chopped the ever loving fucking shit out of him.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Jericho did something interesting that I've never seen done before in all of my viewing of wrestling, which goes back forever. But Jericho bladed his chest in a match with Tomohiro Ishii.
It's always those Japanese
Which you know, like Ishii's a killer, and that was a very interesting and different visual to actually see blood created through a chop.
Yeah, for sure.
So listen, he's a smart fucking guy.
Yeah. I think that we if I don't cut it soon, like you and I could like keep like going and going and going and going.
We'll
and
talk,
going,
man.
yeah.
Absolutely.
But while you're here, where do you maybe we may have texted about this, I don't remember or not. Do you think that Okada Omega was as good as Meltzer and everyone?
Which one?
The whole thing.
The whole thing, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah. I love Okada. I
think
Okada.
anybody hanging on to one person's ratings of anything needs to like relax and like live their own lives a bit.
Yeah.
Get off of X. Get off of Twitter.
Yeah.
I feel so much better now that I removed it from my phone and I just promote my shows on it. Like I kind of feel like an asshole because I did love Twitter for so long, and that was like, but like yeah, it's and especially just
it feels good to not see negativity.
There's so in every single community on Twitter, there's negativity, and no one loves being negative more than I do. I think that's kind of one of my problems, but it was too much. It was too much.
Yeah,
sure.
It's too much.
You down to just stay for the remainder?
Whatever you want.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Cool.
Cool.
So yeah, I understand there's you wanted to I guess read a poem.
I did.
Word. Cool.
So the poem I picked for a couple of reasons. I'm glad that Kyle is still staying in frame for this part. There's Lethal Lovelace, by the way. It's pretty cool.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
if we could zoom in and enhance and post. I don't know.
Okay.
What do you edit your video with?
Oh, have you heard of iMovie?
Yeah, dude, it's pretty cool.
That's what I'm working with right
Yeah.
now. That's what I'm working with right. Oh, is it okay if like half the apple isn't? Is that not? Is that?
Nah, I think that's fine.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
they like being shown all the time.
Okay.
But yeah, I have a poem, and I picked a Dream Within a Dream by Edgar Allan Poe, and I specifically picked this one because this poem is the lyrical inspiration for Dreamscape, which I think I mentioned as one of the songs to
Let's
check
go.
out. I also picked it because you like Kevin Bacon?
Yeah. I actually think Flashdance is basically the fucking shit.
Yeah.
Like especially like with like it being like rebelling against the church. Like
Yeah, that's
like,
cool. That's
yeah.
pretty cool. Sorry, Dylan. If Kyle's brother watches this, he's gonna be really upset with us. That's a different story. But
Sure.
so Kevin Bacon, who I think is criminally underrated, is a really cool guy. And especially like when we live in like the Nicolas Cage-assance right now, which we should, because Nicolas Cage rocks. But we give him like all these weird roles where he gets to play himself, or he gets to do Mandy, or he gets to do Pig, like all this weird shit, or he gets to do Dracula, exactly. And I think that if we gave Kevin Bacon the chance, he could do that. But Kevin Bacon was in this incredible show. It was incredible. It was on Fox. It was called The Following. And it was like this. Kyle loves this show. Kyle was actually on this show.
I love one season of
Kyle was on this show. And as a background actor, we used to do a lot of background acting.
That's awesome.
And the first season, or kind of all the seasons, like it's kind of like a Hannibal thing in a way.
Okay.
But the serial killer, who's played by James Purefoy, who's this awesome British actor, he's a failed writer who's obsessed with Edgar Allan Poe, and he's constantly like basing all of his killings off of Edgar Allan Poe stuff. So. But mostly because I wrote a song. Anyway, I guess I'll read this poem.
Sure. I'm just one more time the author and the title.
It's A Dream Within a Dream, and it's by Edgar Allan Poe. You know, the guy with the mustache, not the other mustache guy. Okay. Take this kiss upon the brow, and in parting from you now, thus much let me avow. You are not wrong who deem that my days have been a dream. Yet if hope has flown away, in night or in a day, in vision or in none, is it therefore the less gone? All that we see or seem is but a dream within a dream. I stand amid the roar of a surf-tormented shore, and I hold within my hand grains of the golden sand. How few, yet how they creep through my fingers to the deep, while I weep. O God, can I not grasp them with a tighter clasp? O God, can I not save one from the pitiless wave? Is all that we see or seem but a dream within a dream?
That was sick.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was a cool guy. He was pretty morbid.
Yeah. It's giving morbid.
It's giving
morbid.
October. Yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot I was in the following.
Yeah. You have a mask on.
Yeah.
Like a
I thought that was Blacklist.
no, there's a scene where they go after a college, and Kyle's one of the college students, and they all glued masks to their faces. I think they were Joe Carroll masks. They weren't. He starts out with like Edgar Allan Poe masks, and then he becomes so famous that like he has Joe Carroll masks because he has groupies.
First season.
It's a really good 3 seasons. It was canceled after the third. It ends on you know the song Rosemary by Deftones? Pretty cool song. It ends on that song. There's a lot of new metal in it.
It's funny because it actually suffers the same kind of writing problems that sometimes Tony Khan does, where he'll throw almost 3 seasons
Sutton
of
Singh
booking.
just as lights out. Yeah, suffers that.
He'll throw 3 seasons of booking into one episode of Dynamite, you know, and you're like, what the fuck just happened to me? Like, everything's just to the back, and then we're in the ring, and then there's another angle, and then there's another match, and it's just like, you can't comprehend it because it's not given the time to allow you to.
Yeah. There's just not enough time.
Yeah. How about one more time, like your social, and then the podcast that y'all do.
So my socials are at Blaise Dahl, BlaiseDahl, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. My band's Dollhouse is at DAHL_HAUS. And then the podcast is Top Cult, and it's spelled TOPKVLT. That's all one word on the socials, but it's 2 words. When we're like talking about on Instagram and YouTube, you can go to topcult.com and talk to us. It's spelled like the black metal way. Did Charlie have a true Norwegian black metal phase, or was that just DeVito?
That I feel there's definitely probably more DeVito. And you just want to explain what your podcast is real quick?
Oh, it's about horror movies.
Yeah, we review horror movies
and
any decade ever.
We put on screenings throughout the Brooklyn area as well.
Yeah, we might have one coming up in October, which we'll discuss. So stay tuned.
Let's go.
Big things happen.
Let's go.
Soon things coming big.
Yes.
Kyle and Blaise Dahl, seriously, thank you for doing this. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Awesome.
Great time.
Yeah, see you soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.